Now let's go back. We were in the car, and I said breathe. And the reason I told you what I did is the best thing you can do sometimes is just go. And you want to do that for several reasons. This is real important. Anytime you're having an issue with somebody, I want you to turn to somebody next to you, and I want you to try this technique. This is the old-fashioned technique. Are you ready? Calm down. Try that. Turn to somebody and say to them, calm down. Now, how many of you want to take their head off right there? Don't tell me to calm down. I'll calm down when I'm ready. Notice what the visual cue was. I was right in front of them, putting my hands right in front of them. I was blocking them in. And then what was the verbal information? Calm down. You're wrong and you need to behave yourself. How you're feeling isn't okay. You need to get yourself under control.
Right.
Now, have I actually touched him yet? Not yet, but I'm close enough for him to touch me. And somebody standing in front of you telling you need to calm down. If you're not calm, what's a high risk in this moment? They're going to do something physical to you because you look threatening. And so they put their hand out and they let you know. They do not, don't you tell me to calm down. You are the problem. And I'm pulling back. Understand, I'm still not whacking him. But if I had dementia, what might very well happen? I might grab him and shake him. I might put my hand in his fist. I might slap him. I might grab his clothing. And again, then I get labeled as the person with dementia as being a problem and having behaviors. But who started this? That would be my caregiver who got in my face and told me I needed to calm down. Or try this one. You already told me that 15 times. Get right in front of your person. It's real important to be right in front of them when you say these ugly things. You have already told me that 15 times, Daddy. Now, when you do that to your partner, how many of the people who just had it done to them are thinking kind thoughts toward the person who just had that? I mean, what you're thinking is one of two things. I don't remember saying it. Did I really ask you 15 times? I mean, my God, how could I have done that? I mean, I would know if I asked you, wouldn't I? I mean, I didn't ask you. I swear I didn't. I just thought about asking you. Am I losing my mind? Well, no, that's what you wanted to do, wasn't it? That was what your goal was as a care partner. You wanted to make them feel like crap. Was that your goal? No, that wasn't your goal. Or the other reaction I might have is more of an angry reaction. Don't you tell me I said so. I know whether I said something. I know what I'm doing. You do not need to come in here and act like you know everything. I'm calling your brother. Oh, yeah. Then we have the family dynamic situation coming up. Why are you getting Mom so upset? You come and take her in the car for 45 minutes to get to the doctor's office. You do it then. And notice what you're doing with your partner, family member, other person who's supposed to step up. All of a sudden, you guys are pulling apart. Do this hand right here. Let me give you another hand. I love the hand because you know where it is when you go looking for it. You don't need to look for a piece of paper. It's right here. You don't have to go hunt something up. Out of 5 families dealing with this disease right now, out of 5 families, pull your thumb in. 4 of you will fall apart. Out of 5 families, only 1 will pull together. Where do you want to be as a family? You got to start having conversations that are hard conversations outside the hearing of the person who's having the issue, so you can work out your details before you get involved in the middle of this, having arguments or disagreements in front of that person. And you need to all figure out how to get on the same page, how to support one another, how to realize when I call you and say, your son is the worst piece of trash I've ever seen. What's happening there is that I'm frustrated. I'm angry, and he's trying to get me to do something I don't want to do. He's trying to say something I don't want to hear. He made mistakes. And what you don't want to do is throw him under the bus. What you want to do is when that happens, what you want to say is, sounds like you're really mad at him. It's called an empathetic statement. You don't have to respond other than with empathy. Sounds like you're really angry with him. Instead of, calm down, Mom, calm down. Or, well, he is a jerk. I mean, you don't need to add fuel to the fire, but you also don't need to deny how I'm feeling about him right now. I need a place I can vent when I have dementia without feeling like y'all are going to get all upset. I mean, it's okay. I've got to say out loud what I used to think in my brain and figure out on my own. I may need you to help me problem solve through things. And when I say things, y'all get all bent out of shape. Don't take it so personally. If you didn't have a filter that allowed you to decide what to say to who and how much to say, how many of you have thoughts every day that you decide not to share with somebody very close to you because you want to keep them close to you? How many of you have had thoughts about the person sitting next to you? And you decided not to share them, whether it was about how they looked or how they sounded or how they were moving or how they smell or how they, well, let's not go to taste. That's a whole nother thing. But how they were, and you decided not to make a comment because you want to maintain the relationship. So, husband, when your wife says, these pants don't make me look fat, do they? What is the right answer to that question?
No.
No, they make you look great. Ladies, if you really want a good opinion about an accurate opinion about whether you look fat in pants, do you ask your significant other? No, they'll lie to you. Who do you ask? Good girlfriend. What do you think? Does this make me look real fat? Now you hush. You hush. Because now once he develops dementia, if I'm expecting the old behavior because I need a bump or a boost, what's going to happen now? Well, you look broad. Yeah, I mean, what did you do? Gain 5-10 pounds at least?
Like 6 axe handles.
Yeah, 6 axe angles. Thank you. That was what I needed to hear from you. And so because it's unexpected, it's hurtful, and all it just is the thoughts you used to keep inside are now popping out. And when you choose to say something like, calm down, Mount Vesuvius. So who can choose something different? That'd be us without the dementia. So the reason I had you stop, and the reason I'm encouraging you, when you want to visit, when you want to spend time, when you want to solve a problem, whenever you're going to try to figure me out, the first thing you need to do is stop doing what you're doing and because you need to get your oxygen to your brain. The other thing I'm going to tell you, if you're sitting next to me and I do this, watch this sweet lady. I'll bet she'll do it. I don't know for sure, but let's watch her. Watch her. Okay, you ready? By the third time, what did I get her to do? Breathe with me. Who else needs oxygen in their brain? Did that work better than calm down, calm down? Yeah, it did. Stage 3. So what we have here is we have somebody who responds better to what kind of cues? Visual. And so what I did is I provided visual, and the auditory I provided made sense for the visual. And the only touch, I laid my hand gently to get her to look at me.
What if they turn cyanotic?
They turn cyanotic. Then we got to go. Because when you laugh, guess what happens? You breathe out. Yeah. Humor is wonderful because it gets you to breathe. Okay? So what I'm trying to get you to understand here is taking care of you is taking care of the person you care for. And the first person when you're going to do something, whether it's making a visit or deal with challenging behaviors, you better look at to see how it's impacting is you. Quit looking at them and shaking your finger, and instead look at yourself in the mirror and go, could it be how I look, how I sound, how I move? Could it be what they smell like versus what I'm expecting them to smell like, and it's getting on my nerves? And recognize sometimes what happens is more about us than about them. And if I truly want to have good moments, I need to take charge of what's happening. Now, here's the good thing about this breathing thing. They did a study. Remember I told you they did that study? Maybe you don't remember, but if you don't, that's okay. They did a study of caregivers of people with dementia compared to the people who weren't caregivers. And they found the cortisol levels were about 50% higher in caregivers of people with dementia, which is pretty significant. They taught them how to do this breathing, and they had them set a kitchen timer so that 5 times a day you would just stop and do 3 deep cleansing breaths 5 times a day. And they had them keep this up for 6 months, prompting and checking in with them to make sure they were doing it. And they found at the end of 6 months, your cortisol level was down to normal range. So guess what you can do? Change things. You can do it. It takes a commitment, it takes practice, it takes rehearsal, it takes doing it over and over. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have dementia, you can make changes.